Hello everyone, my name is Bailey Luzio. Today I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about the wonderful world of wine. Today I hope to give you a basic overview of opening your wine, knowing where it comes from, and how to taste and pair the wine when we're talking about food. Sparkling wine is a great way to start off any special occasion, but how many of you actually know the proper way to open it? I figured we would start today off with a little demonstration opening a bottle of champagne. First things first, I like to use my little knife here to break up the foil. We're going to just remove this outer foil layer here and reveal the aluminum cage, which we are also going to discard of. So just get rid of this foil part here. It can go right in the trash. And you'll notice when you're doing this that on the back of the cork here, there's a little twist tie. Put it close so you can see. We're going to just remove this aluminum cage here. Now, something very important to keep in mind is that once we remove this aluminum cage, we need to either keep our hand, finger, some kind of pressure on top of the cork. It's very rare, but there are occasions because of the pressure that's built up in the bottle that the cork could go flying. So I like to use a little cloth here, rag, whatever you have works, just to create some friction between my hand and the cork. Use my leg as a leverage point. We're going to go ahead and keep a downward pressure while twisting the bottle. Let the bottle work with you. You'll start to feel it kind of release. And there you have it, champagne. Now that we have that part taken care of, we're going to talk just a little bit more. The restaurant industry is what's led me to all of this information. Now, I started in the industry about 9 years ago, and it's given me such an amazing opportunity to learn all of these fun facts. So let's just get right into it and open some more wine. This is a more traditional here bottle 750 of wine. I like to use this double hinge corkscrew. It works best for me, but it's all preference. Using the pointy tip as opposed to the serrated edge, I'm going to remove the foil cap from the bottle. Remove that. Again, we can just discard it. Now we want to insert the corkscrew right into the center. If you have to turn the bottle on its side, that's perfectly fine. Whatever works for you. So we'll go right into the center here, just until you can barely see the tip of the black corkscrew left. Once we get to this point, we're going to use our first hinge here to get it about 3/4 of the way up or so. And then this last half, we move to our second hinge on the corkscrew to keep from breaking the cork in half. And there you have it. As Alexander Fleming once said, penicillin cures, but wine makes people happy. And I think especially with what's going on today, that couldn't be any more true. Now that we've got that down, let's take a little bit of a backtrack and look at where our wine comes from, especially speaking in the United States. I have here for everyone today a map of California and the United States, so you can kind of see a little overview of everything. Now when you take a look here, you can see that the highest concentration is in California, a little bit in Oregon and Washington, very little on the East Coast, and absolutely nothing right there in the center. Now this is mostly because wine really thrives when it's near water because it keeps the temperature very temperate and mild, and these grapes are super finicky, so they need that. Now, California alone brings in $40.2 billion in wine sales revenue, which is very impressive because California was not even considered on the map as far as global wines go until 1976. In May of 1976, California wines beat out French wines for the first time in the Spurrier Blind Tasting Event. This is an event where countries from all across the globe get together and test their wines against each other to see how they hold up. So 1976, California has since skyrocketed. Now the fun part. We can start talking a little bit about tasting your wines. Today, for examples, I have a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc and Classic Sauvignon Blanc. Now, we're going to just start with a small taste because we really just want to get the information out of the wine. We want to see what flavor profiles we can pick out. So in this book, again, I have a tasting wheel. Now, this is going to be really helpful to view while you taste because it gives you a nice overview of the flavor profiles that you're going to get out of the wine. So So Sauvignon Blancs are known for green melon, grapefruit, and lemon peel. When tasting the wine itself, take just a small pour, give it a little aeration. Nice sniff, very floral. And a taste. I get a ton of grapefruit out of this because it's from New Zealand and that's a very traditional characteristic. Same is going to go for the Cabernet. Now with red wines, they really benefit from a little more aeration, so you're going to want to give this a really good swirl. Once you get that done, you can go ahead and pull out your tasting wheel, which I will have all of this down below the video. Take a look here, again, very similar, but the flavors are a lot different. So from the Cabernet, we're pulling out black cherry, red bell pepper, and baking spices most typically. This one here, we'll swirl it again. Little sniff, definitely cherry. And when I taste, I get a ton of those baking spices, almost like cinnamon and nutmeg. So just a really fun kind of basic way to taste some common wines. Now, as far as pairing these wines with food goes, Sauvignon Blanc is very acidic. So when you have acidic wines, you need really acidic food. When you have something big, like a juicy steak and baked potato, you're going to want a wine that's also big and bold like the Cabernet. When we're talking about spicy food like hot wings, these benefit from super chilled sweet wines, so maybe something like a Moscato would do best here. And sweet desserts like your pies and your chocolates, you're going to want to look for dessert wines. These are often very sweet and almost syrupy, and you want to pair it this way so that the sweets don't overpower each other, but they complement. I hope this was a really fun and informative speech for you all. We got just a nice basic overview on how to open your wines, where the wines come from, especially in California, and how to taste them. Now, this is just a basic knowledge to get you going on your own. E.E. Cummings once said, his lips drink water, but his heart drinks wine. So find your favorite wine, some friends that you love, and keep the love going. Thank you so much, everyone. Cheers.